Hey everyone, in my last video I went over how to make a custom armature with custom shapes for your bones. If you tried it the way that I did it, it would not work, at least the way I intended. So we're going to do it for reals this time. So for starters, going to figure out what shape we want to make our bones. I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm going to start with a circle. Going to add a circle mesh. Go to the top. Over here you can see I have the vertices set to 24. So we'll go into edit mode. Going to select these two edges. Extrude on the y-axis. Then I'm going to select this vertex and just pull it out some more. Give it a nice arrowhead shape. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Select these two edges. E, X, and then grab this vertex. Two more. Alright, and this is going to be basically the bone at the bottom of the mesh so that we can we'll use this to move the entire armature around. And just for a couple of finishing touches, edge mode, just going to select this edge loop all the way around. Then we're going to extrude, scale in towards the center, just to give it some meat. And then, just for fun, make it a little bit thicker. I don't know why it's not only moving on the x-axis, but I mean the z-axis. Maybe my z, there we go. My z did not work the first time apparently. Alright, so we have our custom bone, and just because I've done this before, I know that I'm going to want to rotate this bone on the x-axis 90 degrees, but not like that. Select all first. Alright, so we go to object mode. Look at our pretty circle. Deselect, add a single bone. If we go over here to the properties, click on the bone tab. I'm going to go ahead and name this. This is going to be the base bone of my meta rig, meta armature. I'm going to give it the excuse me, I'm going to give it the shape, the custom shape of this circle. So if we go into edit mode, I want the bone to be laying flat just because that's how I roll. So I'm just going to rotate that so then we go back to this one and actually not roll it. And preset rotation did not work. let me do X first. So now I can reset this rotation, which again did not work. Alright, we'll just leave it like that for now. Going to get the circle selected. I can click through and select the armature, but I want to select the circle and move it to this layer here. And then we'll go back. Now we have our armature. Go into edit mode. So there's our armature. Deselect. Going to add a basic human meta rig, because I'm not going to worry about the face bones and stuff for this. So just basic human meta rig. Looks like our base is already pretty good size. So we're going to select our armature. Going to duplicate this bone. Bring it up to about the hips. And I'm actually going to scale this rig up just so the bones don't cover so much of it. That looks pretty good. Move this bone up to the hip area. Duplicate it again. Move it up about the chest area. One more. Shoulders. And for the head. And the custom shapes center around the head of the bone. So this would be the center of your custom shape. See, the center's there, so if I were to move this bone, you can see it moved the center to here. So I'll put that back. So now we've got pretty good control. See, we have our bones here. So you kind of get the idea. This bone would control the pelvis, turning, rocking it back and forth, leaning forward and backwards. Same thing for the rest of these. This one will control the head, shoulders, torso, and the hips. And I'm going to just scale these bones down. They don't need to be quite that big. Scale this one down even more. So now you can see we've got our bones. So now we want to make our meta rig with our easier to look at bones. So if we switch layers, going to put all of this on this layer. So now we can see this is much easier to look at and follow than all of this, and it will actually require the posing of fewer bones, because we can use these to control multiple bones. So let's do that. First thing we want to do is make sure we have all of these bones parented to our base. Why are they different? Oh, because I'm on the wrong thing. Alright, so I want to parent all of these to this bone. Control P, keep offset. So now, if we, why is that a different object? Because that's my circle, because I don't need that layer. Alright, so now we have this armature, and it's still giving me this circle. Alright, so now we have our armature. If we go into pose mode, all of these other bones will follow my base bone. So let's bring our other rig back in here. Just make sure there's no garbage on this. Alright, so we go into edit mode. Actually, we're going to go into pose mode. So we want this bone. So if we move this bone, the entire armature moves, because this is the base of the rig that Rigify gives us. So we're going to add a constraint to copy location of our armature, keep the offset, and we're going to set it to Metabase OG. So let's give that a shot. So it moves the armature, that's good, that's good. But one of the key things that I try to do is when you have your IK set up, so let's say I do something like this, so I can only roll these bones. Like I could rotate this one and rotate that one. And so it will keep the pose, and I can move it around while it is posed. But then if I grab this one, I can't actually, partly because I don't have any inverse kinematics set up, but you want to be able to grab one of these bones, move the character, the IK bones would stay in place, basically causing your character to automatically squat. So you could make your character squat. So then I'm just going to take this second bone, do the same thing, add a constraint, but this is going to copy the rotation. That's going to be our Metabase 1. So you can see now when I grab my ring, rotate Z, so now it rotates everything that is the child of the bone that is constrained. So this bone, which is called spine.001, is the parent of everything above it essentially. So now I can manipulate all of those bones with this one bone. And if I set them all to copy rotation, they would all rotate the same amount. See, I can lean back and forth. And same thing here, I'm going to constrain this bone with a copy rotation to the next bone in the line. And again, now I can turn the shoulders and head, but nothing below it. So we could get some twisting actions. I could turn this way, turn this way. And I should have another bone down here, but I won't worry about it for this. And then we could do something like turn the legs like this. So if we look at it from the front, it looks like he's tap dancing or maybe something. go ahead and show you a rig that I have together already. So you can see we have this walk cycle. And you see I can pick any of these bones. That one apparently I have not tied to anything. And I can turn the head. That one's not tied down either. But anyway, so this is what I was talking about with the squatting. So you can see I have my IK bones set up for the arms and legs. So I can actually take this bone, move it, and you see the IK stay in place, so the arms and legs actually bend to compensate. And then I can keep that pose and just move the whole rig around wherever I want. And I had autos keyframes on, so I don't want to do that. And here you go. And so I can stop it at any point. Turn keyframes off. So I can stop it at any point along here, at any pose, and I can move it to any location. That's how we get the appearance of walking across the screen. Still got to work on my timing a little bit, but get the idea. But you can do this entire armature essentially with just 11 bones. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 for the upper body, head, shoulders, torso, hips, 2 elbows, 2 knees, 2 wrists, 2 ankles, and then again the base bone to move the armature around while maintaining a pose. That's going to do it for this video. And this one actually functions correctly. I think in my last video I did the parenting wrong. I think the base and the rest of these were separate armatures, and it was hard to get it to manipulate the way I wanted to, so I just wanted to show a way that actually works. So I will be renaming my last video as a failed attempt. And I don't have a mesh on this right now, but this is close to what it would look like walking. See, we get some shoulder turn, some twisting in the hips, and just kind of walking across.